Okay, so what I want to show you here is for those of you, and I will do my best to explain this verbally, but I will be sending out a link, and I will post the link here, and I will tell you at the end there's a link and everything that you can go, and or you can contact me, and I will get you this link so you can log in and be able to watch this, the recording of this as far as the screen share that I'm going to be showing. I hope this kind of, for those of you that can see it now, and for those of you that can't, and those of you that are listening, hopefully I do a good job in conveying everything. And we still got people jumping in. That's awesome. I'm going to go ahead and talk about our introduction to our Kelsey Code. And basically, the Kelsey Code, there's a page. When you first click in and you go to the kelsgroup.com, you will see a login page. And let me see where it's at here. Here we go. You will see a login page if you see this on my screen here. And so you'll see a login page. It looks like this here. And basically, you're going to click. You would click here where you can sign up for free. Obviously, you can sign up. You'll see a pop-up when you go there too. You can click that and sign up, or you can go to in the emails I will be sending out tomorrow with the recording for this. There'll be a link for you to go ahead and sign up. You just enter in your information, name and email, and that's going to then we will set you up with some login credentials, and those login credentials will then be sent to you, and then you can just log in. And I'm going to kind of give you a brief little overview here of what this backside or this membership side is looking like. So let me just minimize this here, and we'll take you into that part of things. Now, when you first log in, you're going to come to this What's New page, and it's got a little bit of video here. This is kind of what we want you to do, trying to give you some instruction. But part of this is kind of explaining a little bit about the Kelsey Code. We do have a couple partnerships that we have working, Guardian Life, and also we have the City of Mishawaka, also Parks and Recreation, that are working with us and helping us, and we'll talk a little bit more about that here in just a moment. But there is a member section. Once you log in, you can go into the member section. This has got a forum to it, okay? So you can actually come in here, and you can see that you can set up a forum, and we've got a few people that have gone in tonight, set this up, and you will be able to basically, for example, I can come in here. This is my profile here, but this is a very Facebook-like type of profile, and you can come in and set this up. You can send public message. So, and the really cool thing is this is off Facebook, so you know, you can really have a very personal conversation and make connections with other like-minded people very easily, and be able to conduct business or set up new partnerships or whatever it is that you're working with, and you'll be able to track this. There's also forums. There's basically 4 different forums in here. Everybody is part of the Kelsey Code membership forum. That's the free program, and then we do have some advocate programs. We have nonprofits and businesses, so those people that may fit into those categories, that way they can communicate with strictly those people maybe they might want to connect with. So you know, the Kelsey Code membership is really open to everybody, anybody, moms, dads, whoever wants to learn about water safety, drowning prevention, okay? And that's, you know, those people, this would be great for them. If somebody is an advocate, or they have education, they have information that they're wanting to put out, they can have access to that, and that way they can conduct different type of conversations with people and not have to, you know, worry about, you know, sending that out to somebody like, you know, maybe somebody's mother who is wanting to learn how to get her child involved in swim lessons and things like that. So that way we can help get them set up with different types of programs. That's the biggest thing where we're looking at here. Then you have your profile, and we do have some training that we have set up here right now. It's very much in the starting stage. We have some social media things. We've got some life jacket programs, things like that. And so this is going to expand over time, and so that's probably the biggest thing to walk through of our program that we have going on here. Now, you know, basically we can get this set up, and this is our platform, but let me kind of paint out the vision and what I see happening here, and I want to explain it to you this way here, and let me just pull up the slideshow here so it's more in a large screen so you don't see all the other junk on my screen. But you know, my vision here is to save 185,000 lives from drowning and over 1 million lives from non-fatal drowning, and this is a global problem, okay? And I've had people say, well, where did you come up with this 185,000 lives? There's roughly 390,000 people worldwide that we know of, and actually that's, you know, the World Congress in South Africa actually indicated about 4 million people over the last, you know, decade basically has drowned. So those numbers kind of fall in with that. That's about 50% of that, and about 1 million lives from non-fatal drowning. For roughly every 5 people that drown, about roughly 5 people go to the hospital. So I want to look at both of those numbers. And really my vision here is, in order to make this happen, we have to reach 100 million people. That's a number. And I work this from what I call the know, like, and trust you factor, because you know, when I look at how many people might, you know, if you look at your own profiles or you look at who currently knows you, you might say, okay, how many people do, you know you? And this is a collective group, and so from that standpoint, the reach is much larger. Like I said, I get about 10,000 visits to my website each month, and so, and you know, like I said at the beginning, our podcast goes out to, you know, roughly 100,000 people every time we put a podcast out. So, from that standpoint, you know, we're well on our way just with our podcast, and that's just me. And I've got some data I'm going to show you here in just a moment that I hope that's going to, and I'll explain to you the data for those of you that are on the phones listening. And so I hope that I can hit this home for you. But you know, when I say know you, basically they know your name or they know of you. It doesn't mean they really know everything about you, but roughly 100 million people hear the message. If we take 10% of that, if 10% they kind of like what we're talking about, this is worldwide now, that is roughly 10 million people. And then you break that down and you look at 10%. Now these are roughly numbers that are backed by the marketing and different industries and things like that when you look at those numbers as far as across the board. This isn't just, you know, just to aquatics or water safety. This could be anything in the marketing programs when you're looking at just getting a message from a messaging standpoint. And so roughly 10% of 10 million would be 1 million. These would be roughly 1 million people that trust you. Typically, from a marketing standpoint, if you were trying to sell a widget, we'll just say, or get somebody to donate money to you, roughly, you know, conversion rate on that is around 2%, maybe 3%. If you're doing better than that, that's awesome. So what I did is took 1/2 of a 10%, which is 0.05, and that would be 50,000 what I refer to as raving fans. Everybody knows that if you had, you know, 1,000 raving fans, these are people that live and breathe and die and live and everything, walk and worship the ground that, you know, and the message that we're talking about. And so from that standpoint, we're really focused on being the industry leader or the trusted leader in connection to the entire aquatics, water safety, and drowning prevention industry. And in order to do that, we're going to do this and accomplish this with our platform, the Kels Group, along with the Kelsey Code, and in collaboration with many leaders in the industry, that, you know, we will accomplish this goal by June of 2029. I know that's a big, huge goal, but I believe when I looked at other missions, for example, there's a mission in Africa that was, and I don't know if you've ever heard of the guinea worm. The guinea worm killed millions of people a year. They realized how the people were going into the water, and when the guinea worms were coming through the skin, they would go into the water because they itched and burned, and then they would turn around and then the eggs would get back in the water and they would just reproduce. So they learned that and they eradicated the guinea worm and basically saved millions of people's lives. The other thing is the 6th leading cause of death in the United States was just going to the hospital. They realized in order to change that, they had to change people's behavior, and that was to change people from the standpoint of washing their hands when they go in and out of a room, and then that would stop the transfer of germs. Well, you may not necessarily stop all of it, but it stopped a lot of it, so they changed that. So that's probably the biggest thing when I look at this here. So, you know, and that's really kind of the short of our mission. There's a lot more to it, and I don't really, well, like I said, I don't really want to take a lot of time. But, you know, when I look at our vision, and let me kind of break into what I refer to as the beta program for our platform here, which is the extension of our podcast. And over the next few months, we're going to be offering, you know, we want to put this theory to test, okay? So we are looking for content. We are looking for educational pieces, things of that, people that are leaders, that are speakers, that, you know, have information they want to share with basically humanity. And we, as a collective group, we can pool our resources together. And let me show you a little bit here. Let me go off my screen here and pull up. Actually, let me go to the next slide here. This is a test. I don't know if I have Will Boyton on the line here, but Will did a podcast with me just about a month or so ago about his son, Robert, who is a non-fatal drowning. And if you haven't listened to it, I highly encourage you to go and listen to his story. This is a test that I just started just yesterday. I wanted to see what would resonate with people. I've done tests for years with sponsored content, running some paid content to something, and with dismal results. And then anybody in water safety would probably understand that, you know, conversion rate really in the toilet, $2, $3, $5 a click. I want you to take a look here, and for those of you that can see this, but for those of you that can't, that are on the phones, the screenshot that I'm showing here, basically we're running this program, this test for 5 days. As of I think it was 5 or 6 o'clock this evening, I took these screenshots, and we'd spent $23.57. And we have reached 2,000. At that time, we've reached 2,143 people have been reached, and we've had 57 clicks to that podcast, out at 41 cents per click. I don't know, those of you that have done any type of marketing or paid advertising, I mean, you know, with the cost of what Facebook's charging now, this is, in my opinion, it's huge. Earlier today, it was up, it was doing better, it was about 36 cents per click. Yesterday it was around 52 cents, and we did hit a low of, I think, 28 cents. And we'll pull up a screenshot here in a minute and show you what it's at, and just in the last 3 or 4 hours where we're at this. Again, we targeted women, okay, mothers basically. These are all women from the age of 24 to 55 years of age. They have children from zero, children that are ranging from 0 to up to about 17 years of age, and their interests are swimming and swimming pools. And so we wanted to test this content because if the content would resonate with them, and I think you would agree with me that it is resonating with them. And I don't have the information because there is also an organic component, because this is just the paid version. When you calculate in the organic portion of this, that's when people share another, you know, that just kind of gets out there and goes on its own, that we don't run paid sponsored content to, then that, you know, those numbers are even higher. Again, like I said, you know, we get around 10, just with zero ad spend, we get 10,000 visits a month to our website. So we can begin to convert that traffic and move traffic into the Kelsey Code, into the membership platform, where we have businesses, we have nonprofits, we have organizations, we have educators, we have advocates that have a message, that have something to say, and we can house this content in one place. We can begin to drive traffic. Our software, for an example, I'm going to use, I don't know, I've got some videos. I got a video up of a Life Vest loaner station. our software will, when it's all complete and we have it completely running at 100%, we'll be able to add a tag to everybody that goes through and watches a video or watches a program or gets some information. And it can be personalized with a follow-up email and thanking them for, number one, taking a look at our Life Best Loaner Station program, and if there's any questions or do they need any assistance in helping getting that put together. And we will know that because, number one, we've collected the data, we know their names, we know their email addresses, and then we can personalize that. If that organization is the one that put out that training, the emails can come directly and we can drive traffic from our site to their site or to their organization. That's where the power of the audience, that's where the power of numbers can come in, and we are going to pool the resources and we will increase our ad spend immensely because, as I shared in the beginning, we're going to reach 100 million people in the next decade. And so that's going to take quite a bit of money. That's going to take quite a bit of resources. We have a plan on how to do that. And so, you know, this is the beta portion. If somebody wants to participate in the beta portion, help us get some content together. We're going to drive a lot of people into this program. We've got over 100 people that have signed up. Now we just have to get them active. Obviously, as you can see where I showed in the beginning, there's not a lot of information there because just recently launched this platform just about 2 weeks ago. So it's, you know, building a lot of this myself. There's coding that goes on and all kinds of things. And let me kind of come out of here now. I'm going to jump in here on my, let's see, my Facebook page here, and I'm going to refresh my screen, and let's see where our program is at as of now. And so just in the last few hours, our ad spend went from, let me pull this up again so I can get my numbers right here. You know, a few hours ago, we were at 57 clicks, and we spent 23.57, and we are now at $26.05, and our people reach. We went up almost another couple hundred, so we've reached over 2,356, and we now have 64 clicks. And so that's, I hope you understand just how huge that is. And the cost per click is just extremely powerful. So when I pull that up here, I think we're still at 41 cents per click, but in my right now, this test right here is a huge success. And so if we can help people create the right content, and we can put this together, we can target people, and not only that, we can target them on multiple platforms with direct messaging response. There's so many things that we can do. I have programs where I've conducted over 1,000 phone calls with aquatics people over the last 12 months. And so, we're going to be implementing a lot of those resources also. And so I hope I can convey this, that, the importance of, number one, working together as a community. This is not about my story. It's not about anything. This is about drowning. This is about water safety and how, number one, how I can help you get your message out to more people, but at the same time, how we as a group could get the overall message of everybody out to more people. So, so basically, that's what I really wanted to share with you here tonight. Kind of going forward, we're going to be doing these calls every month. With the next call being 3 weeks or 4 weeks from now. I'll take a quick look at my calendar here before we get out of here and let you know. I will be sending an email out to everyone with a link. Those of you that have not signed up yet, you can go and, like I said, register, and then you'll be able to go in and watch the video. So if you're on the phone, that's fine. That's great. I'm glad you're here, and I just want to make sure that if you want to be able to see some of the things, you will have that opportunity to listen and view and review this. And these will be going up every single month, every time we have them, as a resource for you. And then down the road, we will be having some guest speakers. We do have a private Facebook group that goes along with this. And that is strictly for the people that are part of this program, where we can have additional guests, additional trainings, get a little more personalized in the training, help those that need to be helped, help those that want to learn how to run a test ad like this. I can get with you. We can help people do this for themselves, but at the same time, this is a game changer in my opinion. And from that standpoint, we can drive a lot of traffic. I've been able to drive immense traffic to a lot of people. Just so you know where we are as of right now, my Alexa ranking. I just pulled this up just now. My Alexa ranking on my website, we rank 183,343 in the world, and I rank 34,743. Now, you know, there's 360 million people in the United States, and there's roughly estimated to be something like 15 million websites in the United States. And so we're ranked 34,000. You know, and a lot of people, there's some people that don't put a lot of stock, but when you start hitting these kind of numbers, these are pretty much spot on. So like I said, roughly, you know, 8 to 10,000. So we average 10. We've had as much as 97,000 visits to our website in 1 month. Now that was earlier this year, but again, that's huge. As of like the end of July, we were roughly at about 400,000 visits for the year. So, guys, we're knocking this out of the park, number one. But and these visits and these numbers represent strictly the podcast only. We are ranked top 10 on iTunes, and that's Apple Podcasts, for the keyword of swimming and some other keywords. And that's not just in the United States, but that's also in Australia, UK, Canada, and other places. So hopefully this is resonating with everyone. And I don't know how many we got on here. It looks like probably maybe 15 to 20 people. That's awesome. And what I want to do is kind of open up some Q&A here. I'm going to unmute everybody and just not everybody speak up at the same time. But hopefully, if you've got a question, let's go ahead and you know, I'll go ahead and unmute everybody and let. And so if you've got a question, okay. Don't be shy.
But hey, Rick, it's Mark Karen from Wave. Great.
Hey, Mark, how you doing, sir?
Good. I'm doing well, thanks. Thanks for sharing all this stuff. Can you explain a little more about? Are there levels of community, and who you're really looking to get into the community?
Yeah, there is levels to. Hang on one second. I'm going to mute everybody again here real quick. Okay. Now I was getting a lot of feedback in my ears. Yeah, there are levels to the community. They're basically the overall program is free to everybody. That's open to anybody and everybody that wants to be part. So from that standpoint, if it's the average everyday mom and dad who's searching for just some water safety information on, or needing some practical advice on, you know, pool covers or whatever. I mean, we're talking with people in the pool manufacturing niche. We're talking with people in the chemical niches. We're talking with people that sell solar covers. We're talking with people that have all types of different products or services and businesses that, you know, will attract some of these type of people. Also, that at that level, I mean, that could be lifeguards, that could be employees of an organization, that could be whoever wants access. They will have access to probably 99% of all content, unless an organization or a business says, hey, I don't want my content available to everybody. I only want my content available to people of this type. And then from that standpoint, we can lock down some content. So if somebody had a specific training that they want to give access to just a certain type of person, then those people would have to register as that to be able to unlock that. We have an advocate, what I refer to as an advocate, and or a an educator. That's somebody who is an advocate. Maybe they don't have they have a voice and they have a mission and they want to share a story. They want to share something, or maybe they're an educator. Maybe they just go and speak. I know a ton of speakers who don't have a business. They don't have an organization, but they go to conferences all the time to speak to people about water safety, about something that they're passionate about. So that might be a great level for somebody like that, because they just want to be able to get their content, their information in front of more people. We have a level that we classify as a nonprofit, and also a business level. So basically, that would be somebody that has a 501c3 status or a nonprofit status. We would classify them as that. And then we have our business or for-profit businesses. These are people that would have a specific product, like, for example, your product, Mark, like the Wave, and that would want to make sure that we recognize those businesses and those nonprofits and those type of entities. That is where we will be pooling our resources. So those three levels there, the advocate or speaker level and the nonprofit and the business level, will be a paid level, more or less, if you can call it sponsorship, whatever. In my opinion, for what we're going to be, the value and what we're going to be giving back, the cost that we're looking right now for those at the advocate level is $465 a year. Then at the nonprofit level, I want to say it's like $1,200 a year, and business level is like $1,900 a year. But again, there's a lot of value that people can have with that. I do have a playbook on my website that outlines a lot of the benefits that somebody would receive. For example, the business and nonprofit benefits are pretty much the same, and I had it up on my screen, it just disappeared on me. The nonprofit and business, for example, they have access to private Facebook group. They are listed on our business page, website, membership site. They're also promoted and mentioned as on various podcasts, other online events. Plus, we will be having face-to-face programs where we're meeting people across the country. We've got one coming up here. And possibly, I'm talking with somebody in Manassas, Houston, Texas, Sacramento, California, and a few other places around locally and everything too. We'll promote on our list to our face-to-face and regional meetings, opportunities to host these meetings at your location, and then utilizing by that time we would hope that we would have a lot of connections in the local area. And also, as I was sharing earlier about with some of the paid and sponsored content, we would be driving a lot of traffic to those too in those local areas with some really targeted responses by downloading our LinkedIn connections in that area and putting together lookalike audiences and targeting those, because those are very laser targeted programs directly to those people in that area for that face-to-face meeting, looking to attract the type of person that the person who's sponsoring that they would want to come to this event. These events would be totally 100% free. There's no cost to anybody. Then also to be able to demonstrate and speak at these meetings, we will also do promotions and promoted events and other things on online meetings and events. Unlimited numbers of online presentations. We will help produce the presentations. We will help record the presentations. We'll help do the PowerPoints. Whatever is really needed, we will help and assist in those. Available to receive benefit. There is a component to this. 10% of this money will be going into a water safety education assistance program. Of that the members can apply for financial assistance through these things, either for swim lessons or for a program of some sort. We do have some other things coming down the road, such as some premier sponsors, but that's probably going to be much later, where then most of, if not 90 to 98% of that money would go into this program to really bolster that amount of money. So if somebody wanted some help purchasing the Wave system, Mark, they would have access to be able to apply for assistance through this and to be able to use those funds to put towards, say, one of your systems. Various other options and customized programs customized to that particular business, organization, or advocate also networks and forums to be able to, like I explained in the beginning about the forums, also the private Facebook group, and additional trainings and opportunities to do live Facebooks. We will also be broadcasting many of these live meetings live across our network. Also access to our complete library of trainings. We'll be tagging people that are coming in, and so we will download the lists on a CSV file, and we can email those to you. So you could, in other words, the audience will be warmed up and ready for you to begin to have those discussions. Discounts and bonuses from hopefully the members here would offer special programs for other members to participate in their programs and sponsor. And so that's just kind of, a lot of the things that we're really looking at right now. So hopefully that was that answered all your question there, Mark.
Yep, it did. Thanks, Rick. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Great.
Appreciate that, Mark. Is there any other questions? Okay. Well, I appreciate everybody's time. And I'm going to mute everybody again.
Yeah, that's really hard to talk and hear a feedback and come back and I hear myself twice. But anyways, appreciate everybody's time. And let me just say this: there is a few links here I want to give you here. And basically, you can reach out to me if you have any questions. If you received my emails, all you got to do is just respond to those emails. I get those emails. I tend to respond to them relatively quickly when possible. But again, my email is rick@thekelsgroup.com. If this is something that you would be interested in talking with me on how you can participate in this beta program, I knew I threw some prices out there. Those are the prices that we are looking when we go into the full launch. Okay, everything is pretty much at bargain basement prices because we're really looking at getting some of the costs covered. We can begin to ramp up some of the sponsored content. We can begin to ramp this up and start bringing more people in and begin to drive some traffic so we can begin to collect more data and begin to expand on this program. So I have a link and it's showing there on the site. Let me I think I have it here. Let me go into the chat real quick, and for those of you that are online, you'll see this, and again, I will have this on. Hang on a second. There it is. And let me just paste this in here, and that way everybody will have that link. And actually, the link shows as an Infusionsoft link. But again, the link actually reads, it's actually my website, thekelsgroup.com, and it's actually /let's talk. Okay? So it's thekelsgroup.com /let's talk, and that'll get you to my calendar. It'll schedule 45 minutes.
Are you there?
Yes, I am. Yes. I think I heard somebody. Did I lose her?
What's up?
Okay.
Okay, so hopefully it can. Everybody still hears me here. So we will go ahead and just begin to end this call. If anybody else has, I'll give one more call here for questions. If anybody has any additional questions.
All right, guys. Hey, I appreciate everybody's time for being here, and hopefully you enjoyed this conversation here tonight. And I will be shooting out a link here for the recording for you to be able to catch up on this. So, guys, have a great night. Appreciate you staying out late tonight. And those of you that are on the road driving, listening on the phone, if you've got any questions, again, shoot me an email. Get on my calendar if you want to learn more about this and how you can participate. I would love to have you. And because basically this level is extremely high, so it's time to get this part of it moving. Guys, everybody, I really enjoy everybody, and thanks a lot for being here. See you guys later.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eric.
you still there? Hello.